Last week, Microsoft released .NET 8, and this has been one of the most anticipated releases in .NET history because of the speed that actually brings to our application. It contained a lot of new features in order for us to make our application cloud native ready. We're going to be going through some of the release notes that Microsoft had released, and then once we have done that, we're going to be going through a step-by-step guide of how actually we can upgrade our .NET application from .NET 7 to .NET 8, and we're going to be seeing why do we want to use that, as well the guide of how we can actually get .NET 8 available on our machine. So let's get started. So basically, this is the main blog post that has been released along with .NET conference that has happened last week, and we can see here that the main iteration or the main focus that actually focusing within .NET 8 is going to be performance, cloud nativeness, as well .NET MAUI, Blazor, as well as AI. And the main item here we're going to speak about is performance. And .NET 8 handles performance in so many different ways, and basically it actually makes sure our application is running way more faster than any current JavaScript framework. As we can see here, these are the different items that .NET 8 provide, from observability to resiliency, health check, and testing, etc., etc. But this is the part that I'm really excited about. So we can see here for any JSON performance, we can see we got an 18% jump. And this 18% jump might not sound a lot, but if we take a look at this 18% jump, it shows us here that from .NET 7, we were able to do up to 800,000 call per second, up to almost now 1 million call per second. And this 1 million call per second is basically like mind-blowing, the amount of performance that we had to do in order for us to jump almost like 200,000 requests per second. And this is going to be the main items or main reason why a lot of people who might want to upgrade from .NET 8 from .NET 7 to .NET 8 in order for them to get this benefit of performance. And this has been mainly due to the dynamic profile guided optimization, which is going to be the dynamic PGO. And this PGO allows basically to have a lot of performance enhancements within our application performance. Another items that has also been introduced on top of that, other than performance, which is .NET Aspire. And .NET Aspire is basically a game changer. So right now, if we're trying to actually build an application, what do we need to do? We need to basically build our services, build our connectivity, create our own retry policies and our observability solution, build everything together and bundle everything together, go to the cloud, configure the cloud to take all of that, make sure we have some kind of a deployment process that actually support all of this, etc., etc. So we can see here, in order for us to make our application fully cloud ready and fully cloud native, there's a lot of manual work that we need to do and a lot of processes that we need to actually adjust to in order for our application to be compliant with that. But with .NET 8, we're going to have .NET Aspire, and .NET Aspire basically take all of this heavy lifting from us and actually do it itself. The main power that .NET Aspire provides is everything going to be out of the box. So basically it's like a service or a template that we can actually utilize within .NET. Currently in preview, it's going to have its main full release in spring, so it's really good for us from now to start experimenting with and preparing our code. Once it has a full release in spring, we can actually directly utilize it. When I go down, we can see here that it's currently in preview today, and if we go to this GitHub link, we're going to be able to see it. We're going to be able to see all of the different implementation for it. It's a really fascinating one. I highly suggest that you can actually download it and actually experiment with it. I'm going to be creating a video about it in more details, but for now we're just going to be glancing over it. So basically here we can see that with .NET Aspire, we're going to have a lot of new enhancements, specifically when it comes to make sure our application are cloud native and ready. Then we can see that there is a lot of enhancement to containers. .NET loves containers, and basically all of the recent .NET framework, I think from .NET 1.0 to 2.0, has been fully Docker and container compatible. And the main introduction or new feature that has been introduced within this release, it's gonna be security aspect of our containers, where we're gonna actually able to have a 100 base image, which is gonna allow us to have a much more secure application. The size is gonna be much more smaller, so our .NET container is going to be reduced in size. That leads to faster deployment, faster upload, etc., etc. And it's going to be more productive because we're going to have a lot of different operating systems that we can utilize. The cross compilation is really going to be the main thing, as well as we're going to be able finally to utilize Azure authentication within our containers. Other than the containers, there's gonna be native IoT, and that's something that we have been asking for a long time. And if you don't know what AOT means, it's called ahead of time compilation. So what that means is gonna allows us to have a much more faster application at runtime. Native IoT, basically what it means, it's gonna actually compile our application in a way where we don't really have to rely on that JIT compilation that's part of .NET for so long in order for our application to run. So AOT will basically have a lot of enhancement when it comes to saving memory, a lot faster startup time, and basically a lot of performance enhancements. So as we can see here, an application that's running on .NET 8 native IoT, we can see first of all the size is much more smaller than a normal one. We can see that the working set or the working memory is much more smaller. We can see that the startup time goes from 142 to 34 milliseconds, and that's on Linux. We can see the major improvement. On the other hand, on Windows, we can see this almost same improvement, where basically our publish size is like the fraction of what we had before. Our startup time is much more faster than before, etc, etc. The only thing with native IoT, currently it's not fully supported on all of the .NET services. It's currently being targeted for minimal APIs and gRPC, but full support is coming down the line. So if you're already working with gRPC and minimal API, that's something that you really need to implement. If not, it's something that might come down the road. So again, with the entire focus with what's happening with OpenAI, .NET 8 embraced AI fully by actually embedding the AI within the actual framework itself. There's a lot of enhancements when it comes to AI within .NET 8. ML.NET has got a lot of major boost as well. It makes it much more easier to actually have some kind of a artificial intelligence model inside our code in order for us to utilize it. I'm gonna make a specific video about AI and .NET 8, how those two work together, the main benefit, the main implementation. I hope you're excited as I am about it, and we're gonna be basically going through it. And the last two items that we want to speak about is going to be Blazor as well as .NET MAUI. So the main benefit that Blazor got currently when we want to build a full stack application, what do we have? We have a HTML front end, we have an API back end, or basically MVC, etc, in order for us to build the full stack application. But with this new .NET 8 release, we got something different, is we can actually choose a full stack application with a Blazor. So our front end will be Blazor, our back end will be an API, and we can actually utilize all of this together. So directly we're going to have a template that we can actually build this out of the box. So that's going to be one of the highlights, or basically one of the main feature in order for us to build directly a full stack application directly from scratch. The other thing is Blazor got a lot of major improvement when it comes to speed. These new performance is going to give us up to 20% rendering. We're going to be able to see also some rendering streaming, so that's going to be really as well helpful when it comes to performance. On top of that, we're going to have a lot of new components like the display data for a quick grid, the section out authentication and identity, as well a lot of different enhancements to the Blazor. We're going to be delving into Blazor in much more detail in future videos, but now we're just skimming over it. Comes to actual features, it's going to be .NET MAUI, and as we know, .NET MAUI is a cross-platform framework where we actually write once and we can actually run our application on different platforms. So we can build an iOS, an Android, and a Windows application within a single source code. And this is the power for the power of .NET MAUI. We don't really have to reinvent the wheel every single time we want to develop for a new platform. All we need to do is target it and adjust our source code for that specific platform. And within .NET 8, we got a lot of new enhancements. So we got full support of WinUI within a single system, within a single source base. We can actually write for WinUI, Mac Catalyst, iOS, and Android. We're gonna have a lot of performance enhancements. So last year we got the full version of .NET MAUI. Now we got a lot more stability and performance enhancement to .NET MAUI, so that should be really exciting. And on top of all of that, and all of what basically support all of this is gonna be C# 12. C# 12 has a lot of new features and enhancement in order for us to make our life much more better, from basic the collection expression to default variable for parameters and lambda, etc. All of these are going to provide additional and much more needed enhancements to the not needed, a lot more new enhancement to C# 12 in order for us to have a better experience with it. And lastly, we can see here a lot of new enhancement for the Visual Studio family, etc, etc. So now that we have covered all of this and why do we might want to upgrade and the new enhancement that have come with the .NET 8, now let's check the lifetime support, or the main reason that we actually want to upgrade our .NET 7 now rather than later to get all of these features. We're going to be exploring step by step how we can actually upgrade our application from .NET 7 to .NET 8. We're going to be discussing why do we want to upgrade and what's the main benefit of upgrading. And we're going to be going through all of this in a step-by-step journey based on an application that we have built previously. So let's get started. Before we can actually check into the upgrade itself, we want to actually understand why do we want to upgrade. Basically, the main reason we want to upgrade is every .NET framework that currently exists has an end of life. And currently we are on .NET 8, and .NET 8 is a long-term support, as we can see here. And long-term support means that it's gonna last until a few years from now. And as the name said, the long-term support, so as we can see, usually it's 3 years, and the end-of-life support for the .NET 8 is going to be until November 10, 2026. On the other hand, the current version of .NET, which we're currently using, is going to be .NET 7, and we can see that the end-of-life support for .NET 7 is going to be on May 14, 2024. And it's always good when we have a short-term support, which is going to be the .NET 7 STS, and we have the LTS version, which is going to be the .NET 8, it's always to upgrade from a short-term support to a long-term support. As we can see, the last long-term support was .NET 6, which has been released in November 8, 2021. Is still supported and will still be supported until November 12, 2024. So we can see here the main benefit of the long-term support that .NET will get by upgrading into the latest version. And for this reason, we're going to be upgrading our application from .NET 7 to .NET 8 in order for us to make sure, first of all, it's compliant. Now that we have this, the second thing is, in order what do we need to do is we need to actually get .NET 8. And in order for us to go to .NET, to get .NET 8, just go to Google, type download .NET 8, and you're going to be able to see this version here. And this page here, you'll be able to see all of the different downloads that .NET 8 provide. And basically what we're interested in is to download the SDK in order for us to be able to build the application. And based on your operating system, you can choose whatever you want. And I have already downloaded mine and have installed it. And now if I go back to my terminal, and inside my terminal here, I'm just going to put .NET. Let me zoom in a bit. -- version. As you can see, I'm on the latest version of the .NET application. Okay, perfect. So what are we going to be doing now? First of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the application that I want to upgrade, which is an application that we have built previously, which is called the Formula 1 application. And here, as we can see, I'm going to open this up. Let's go to edit CS Proj. We can see here it's still running on .NET 7. This is my main API. This is my main class library for my data services. Again, edit CS Proj. We can see it's still running on .NET 7. Again, if I go here, edit for my entities, we can see everything is running on .NET 7. And that should be fine for now. But as we said, we want to upgrade everything to .NET 8. And if I try to run now my application, we can see it will not run because it's saying the .NET 7 framework is missing because I have already upgraded to .NET 8, which is great. So now what I want to do is I want to make sure that my application is actually .NET 8 compatible. So let's see how we can do that. So in order for us to understand what do we need to do and what are the steps that we need to take in order for us to upgrade, the best resource is currently the Microsoft website. So this is what we're going to be following. So I'm going to navigate to that website here. And as you can see here, in order for us to upgrade to the latest version of .NET, we need to first of all upgrade our target framework. So that's what we're going to be doing. So we're going to come here, we're going to upgrade our target framework to version 8, save this, come here, version 8, save, and version 8, and save. Perfect. So now that I have done this, all I'm going to be doing, I'm going to go to my terminal, and I'm just going to put .NET build. And now we can see it's actually building on .NET 8. Perfect. We didn't get any errors. Okay, perfect. So now what I want to do, I'm going to go to my application and I'm going to do .NET build there. And as we can see, we got build succeeded on the latest version of .NET 8, which is exactly what I want. So now if I run my application, We can see it's running on port 5000 and it's running as it should. Perfect. But now this is not what the last part that we need to do. The last part that we need to do here is we need to upgrade our packages. So I'm gonna go to manage NuGet package. I'm gonna make this a bit bigger. And as we can see here, all of the packages that currently have an upgrade to .NET 8, we can see 8 is available. So let's start first of all by upgrading our OpenAPI, sorry, not OpenAI. Perfect, now that has been updated. Let's update this one. Okay, perfect. So now I want to do is I want to choose the solution. So I'm going to come here, manage NuGet package. We can see I have all of these here. Let's start with the tools, upgrade. Oops, I think there's an order structure of which one we need to be upgrading first. Let's start one by one. I think this should be it. Yep, so this one has been upgraded. Let's upgrade the other one. Design has been upgraded, SQLite, let's try this. And the last one, which is going to be the tools. Okay, perfect. Now if I go to my entities, I don't think I have any NuGet packages. Let's see. No, I don't have any NuGet packages here. Okay, so now if I take a look at my CS Proj, cancel, let's put this down. Okay, if I go to my CS Proj, we can see everything has been upgraded to .NET 8 and all of the main packages at least. And here I can see that all of my data and entity framework libraries has been also upgraded to .NET 8, and that's exactly what I need. So right now let us run this and see what do we get. Okay, so now if I go to debug, I can see my application is running on port 5000. So let me open this up here. I'm gonna go localhost port 5000, and I'm gonna go this one. And as we can see here, I have my endpoints available for me, and I'm gonna do a simple get all drivers, try it out. I think we only have one driver, execute. We got the response, and we can see I have one driver available. If I take this ID, try it out, get it. Okay, perfect. We can see I got the driver. So that means that my API is running smoothly. Everything is running as it should be. And basically, my application is actually running perfectly in .NET 8. And this is how simple it was to upgrade my current application from .NET 7 to .NET 8. It took me literally a few minutes to do that, just to make sure that all of my NuGet packages has been upgraded, all of my different class libraries, as well as my main API. I hope this video was helpful. Please like, share, and subscribe if it did. And thank you very much for watching. Any questions, please make sure you put them in the comments down below.